Yes, Okaasai Opolot is my name. I'm MP for Kumi and Minister of State for Energy. I'm here leading a committee of Environment and Natural Resources of Parliament, who are our supervisors in Parliament. They are interested and they are doing their rightful role. The first role which they do is to support me to mobilize resources, appropriation of resources. If I'm to ask for any money in Parliament, it is them who actually appropriate, and they are my voice in Parliament asking for allocation of adequate money, appropriate money to address the electricity supply industry in this country. Now, when they appropriate the money, they also take responsibility to make sure that the money that they have given me is utilized properly. They actually do come out to do an oversight. So they are here in West Nile to do an oversight, to see the activities which we have put the money that they allocated as for West Nile. In West Nile, we have delivered bulk electricity, the transmission line, and we have built substations. They actually wanted to come and see for themselves whether the substations are being delivered, whether the people of West Nile are enjoying stable power. And I'm actually impressed since I came to West Nile yesterday. I entered in the night, I'd never seen bright lights like they are in West Nile in any part of the country. The second one is stable supply of electricity throughout the night, not even a flicker. In other areas, I would have had power on and off several times in the night, but in West Nile, there wasn't such a thing. So the people of West Nile, you have stable and adequate power. I now challenge you to attract investors. I would want to see industries coming up in West Nile. The community was asking for jobs. The electricity that you have can create thousands of jobs in West Nile. Use this electricity appropriately to change the outlook of West Nile, to change the outlook of Arua. Arua was dark outside, but when you go inside, there was a lot of light. I really hate having a lot of electricity and then the town is dark. It's a challenge again to the mayor and the communities to actually use electricity for lighting the streets. The Chief Executive Officer of ERA is going to talk about the tariffs. Lighting, using electricity for lights, security lights, has got as one of the lowest tariffs. So we should not actually encourage and allow darkness, insecurity along the streets. I would want to see men and women doing business, extending their hours of business at night. So why do we do that? So that's the reason the committee is here. The challenges and the questions which were asked by the community, it is good they have heard it. I'm going to ask for money to make sure that the electricity goes to the communities. It should not just be delivering power to a substation. I would want electricity to go to the end user, because a policy of government is free connections, last mile connections, where we used to pay 723,000 shillings. Now you only pay 41,300 and you get connected. Even that money, the 41,300, is not actually paying for connection. It's only used for inspection of your house, whether it is properly wired. It is used for giving you the initial units which you can use when the power is connected. Otherwise, government is providing free connections, and we expect in our plan to have 1 million connections within 1.5 years of the project which we are running. So hurry up to wire your houses. West Nile is a priority because they are new. They have just come into using of grid power. We are trying to bring them to the same level with everybody else. In many, for the next 1 year, I'm giving over 100 kilometers for each of the districts in West Nile. So use this opportunity, create the demand. I will not give electricity unless you have asked for it.
Okay, maybe
Ask for it.
What is the name of the project?
Electricity Access Scale-Up Project funded by the World Bank.
From which year?
Is running from 2021 to 2026, 27. So you have a short time of implementation of the project, and West Nile should push to benefit from it. We actually discussed this in cabinet while I'm presenting my ambitions. Unfortunately, West Nile has got a minister who is responsible for investment. You have industrial parks. Industrial parks are our priority number one. Where there is an industrial park, we have a special project to deliver power to the industrial park. But we shall not deliver power unless we see some industries coming. But wherever there is an industry, like in Mbale now, we are establishing a substation in Mbale. We are going to establish substations where industries are as a priority. So in case industries come up in West Nile, taking power from here to an industrial park may not deliver adequate power. So we shall establish a substation in wherever there is an industrial park coming up, worth $638 million US.
Okay, I am the chairperson.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Geoffrey Feta. I'm the Member of Parliament for Ivo Division East constituency, but also the Deputy Committee Chairperson for Committee of Environment and Natural Resource. Today, the committee has paid a visit here on Oversight mission. You know, the Committee of Environment and Natural Resource has a core role of oversight over the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development. So we are touring the electricity infrastructure across the country. We started somewhere in western Uganda, went to parts of central, went to eastern, now we are in northern, but specifically West Nile. Now, the substation here, I am satisfied because one, the purpose of the substation has been achieved to ensure that electricity, high voltage electricity is transmitted to West Nile. Now we've been able to achieve here 80 megawatts. In the Nebi substation we have 80 megawatts. That put together is 160 megawatts. That resolves the previous problem of stability. That resolved the previous problem of stability of power in the region. Now it has helped us to ensure that the program for taking electricity to the last mile can now be able to take off, because previously we didn't have enough resource to distribute to take the last mile. So I am personally very satisfied with the works here. I am satisfied with what the ministry has been able to do. I am satisfied with what the regulator has been able to do. It is a going concern that yes, whereas we have done all this, the community surrounding this facility had one or two issues which you listened to them raise, and the issues are being addressed. The minister has responded that as part of the community development action plan, the ministry took construction of the box culvert, the ministry took construction of the 1.5 kilometer road, the first class Maram, The minister has also reinstated the ministry's commitment to construct a borehole. But not only that, the community has been able to request that whereas now we have high voltage stable power, the community need last mile connection. The minister has made a commitment of giving this community a transformer so that this community can be connected. I think the progress is well. I want to thank government because 4 years ago, the issue was West Nile is not connected to national grid, we don't have stable power, but that has now been addressed. 2, we have listened to the minister talking about the electricity scale-up access program. Now, he has told us that as a ministry, because the region has just been connected, the ministry has prioritized the region with a connection of 100 kilometers per district. That means all the 13 districts of West Nile are going to get a last mile connection of 100 kilometers. I think that is in the correct direction because just this year we're asking government for 240 billion shillings for last mile collections in the entire West Nile. So that answers part of what we have been talking about. So I am pleased, I am happy with the progress. Yes, we have not been able to reach everywhere, but the scheme is well designed to reach almost everybody. But what is very important for me is that this power should be able to address the issue of unemployment. How is it going to address this? Power is taken to money trading center here in money here. If a youth can be able to establish a welding facility, that youth will be self-employed. If a youth can be able to establish a saloon, that youth will be self-employed. If another one can be able to establish a cooling plant, maybe for cooling milk, maybe for cooling soda, we're heading to the dry season, you will need a cold thing. That person will be self-employed. But many other roles electricity can perform. So that will employ our young people, whether he's skilled, is semi-skilled, or did not even go to school. 2, we now need to focus as a region on industrialization. But how do we focus on industrialization? We must have land which we should gazette as industrial parks. Once we have gazetted land as an industrial park, then we can be able to ask government to operationalize the industrial parks. I am pretty sure all of you know that between Kampala and Jinja, there are very many processing plants, factories, which are absorbing young people. Now, if we have such facilities here, West Nile is battling with the youths on the streets, youth on the stages, because they have not gone to school, or they have gone to school but they have nothing to do. So those industrial parks would be able to provide a lasting solution to these young people who are always on the roadside. Some are being killed because of petty issues. So that is my direction. It is strategic. It will solve most of the problem other than petty cash, Yes.
Okay, maybe related to that, we have seen almost all the districts in West Nile giving land. But the issue is, when is the industry coming or the factories coming? As the August House, members of the August House, collectively in the country, what have you discussed maybe in which you have been involved?
We have been able to appropriate funds for investment. It is only that we cannot ask the Ministry of Investment to do all these things once. But we are asking the Ministry of Investment to be able to kickstart 1 or 2 industrial parks. If not the one of Nebi, there should be this one of Madiokolo. There's one in Koboko. Even Arua here, we have a land for industrial park. But let alone these ones of government, we are inviting private developers, private investors. You come and start a water processing plant. You come and start a toilet paper processing plant. Come and start processing anything, juice processing. You can start on small scale. Our problem is we want to start big to be called investor, because we have fruits here. We have mangoes, we have avocados, we have guavas. Just buy a small processing plant. The raw materials are available. Process juice, sell here. Process juice. Now, when people know that you are processing juice every day, the next thing is people will start looking for you. So let us start small. Buy a small plant which can process your juice, buy a small plant which can cool water, buy a small plant which can be able to process food, and then eventually you will grow for private sector. But as our appeal that government should facilitate and fund the industrial parks so that the operational is on. Because we have seen what is happening in Mbale Industrial Park, and we would want the same to happen here.
Chairperson of the authority, Electricity Regulatory Authority, new chairperson. And my name's Grania Rosette Rubomboras. I'm an engineer, electrical engineer by profession. It's a brand new substation with modern equipment, and so it's already ready, commissioned, and hence it's ready to distribute power to the area and also transmit to the certain industrial parks that the minister has been speaking about. The last time I was here was, I think, in 2005. I'd come for commissioning of the Wenroko mini hydro, and that was the only power then that we was coming to supply this area. But now with this, which is going to be a cheaper option compared to the mini hydro, being connected to the grid is a big achievement for this area.
The media for linking us to the public, and also for bringing to the public the work that we are doing, especially the Oversight Committee of Parliament, that is the Committee of Environment and Natural Resources Committee, where we have Honorable Feta as the Vice Chair of this committee. This committee plays the oversight role over the electricity supply industry inclusive, but also the water, environment and minerals. And they play two critical roles. One, they lead the sector in presenting the investment capital requirements before Parliament. They defend us on the floor of Parliament to ensure that the electricity supply industry is funded by government, so that your requests as the entire country, including Arua, where you talk about distribution network extended, last mile connection is done, transmission networks like now the substation where we are funded and prioritized by government, it is this committee. But also after government approving these budgets, the committee does the oversight inspection role to ensure that these resources are put to good use so that they benefit the people, they benefit the community. So this particular inspection is led by the minister on the side of the energy sector, but led by the Honorable Feta, the Vice Chair of the Environment and the Natural Resources Committee on behalf of Parliament. So we are doing a very, very critical activity in the country that ensures that resources are not only appropriated and allocated, but also the infrastructure, the facilities that they are supposed to implement are implemented well, and people are benefiting from them. This inspection also helps us to speak to the people. We've been here, we've been able to listen to the community that gave land for this substation. We've listened to the local leadership, the LOC1, the mayor, and we've been able to pick issues. For example, they are saying we should prioritize now connecting the community to electricity. Given that we have already finished the dam, Karuma, we've finished the main transmission backbone and this main Arua substation. Now we should focus on deepening connections. Last mile connection is into the community. And we've explained to the community that they should be ready because they are responsible for wiring their houses using a certified wireman so that it is safe. And once they are through, government has already mobilized $683 million from World Bank, and we are procuring materials in bulk. So government then will install the transformers so that we step down the electricity. We will then also do the last mile solido extension to your house and be able to put the meter and the protection device free of charge. You will pay 30,000 just for inspection to see that the household installation you've done is safe, and that if we connect you to the power, it is not harmful. It will not cause fires. It will not harm you and the family. So that program is ongoing, and the minister promised that within a maximum of 1 year, the community surrounding this substation and beyond will be connected to the grid, and people will start enjoying using their power, reliable power. We've also been able to confirm that now for those areas where power is already connected, power is stable and reliable, which was an objective of government and parliament. Because before we had power from Nyagak, which was blinking, which was being load shedded, which was very unreliable. But now the areas where power is connected, power is very reliable. Now the objective of government now is to ensure that the areas where power is not connected, we are able to facilitate and bring the capital and connect. So that is one other area. Now, my name is Engineer Ziria Tibalwawako, Chief Executive Officer, Electricity Regulatory Authority. Charges, because the minister requested that I talk about the cheap cost of electricity for security lighting. The cost recovery price of electricity is 756.2. But because we want security in the municipalities, security in the city, the cost for security lighting is only 360 shillings per kilowatt hour. So this cost is very competitive. What we are doing is to work with the municipalities to ensure that they get money to install the security lights, because the cost being low is one issue. Cost of power now is low, but they need to secure the money to install the street lighting. That is what we are doing with the ministry, the municipalities. But also we have tariff structures. For example, as we connect the last mile, the first 15 units, the first 15 Yaka tokens go for 250 shillings, which we call a lifeline tariff. Now this, together with the free connection, will enable people to enjoy power, which can do lighting, it can do the sockets, it can do TV, it can do television, it can do all the electronics. The only area, if you go to now wanting to cook using power, then you move from the 250 shillings to 412 shillings. So 250 is the poorest of the poor, and 15 units are enough for them for a month. And then if you are going to cook, maybe now you have the electronic and electrical cooking gadgets, then we expect that your standard of living has improved. Then you pay 412 shillings per power for cooking. We call it electricity for cooking. So there are lots of innovations that government is bringing in. It is not only connecting people last mile free of charge, but also we want to lower the price of electricity so that people can actually put this electricity to use so that they improve their livelihood. But also electricity can be used now so that it is stable to cause industrialization, and we are able to see our Arua industrial park industries come so that our youth can get employment.